cannot stand it when my phone does it. When I can't see. It goes black on me. At first I was thinking it was where I was, but no, it's the phone. But guess what? I'm not about to buy a phone. I'm not about to buy a phone right now. Unless I absolutely have to. It's going to get a reboot. It's going to get shut off and turned back on. It's going to get shut off and turned back on. And it's going to get an update because I've been refusing to do the update. I've been refusing to do the update, so it's going to get an update. For as long as we can, we're going to put off buying a new phone. We're almost done. We're almost done. Y'all, when you walk past these restaurants, the food smells so good. And most times it is. But sometimes you go into these restaurants, it smells so good outside. And when you get inside, the food isn't all that good. The food isn't all that good. And it depends on the restaurant. It depends on the restaurant. Sometimes you go into these restaurants and the food isn't all that good at all. But again, sometimes it depends on the restaurant. Some of these restaurants, the food is awful. Have y'all noticed that? Certain restaurants, the food is just awful. And some of them, the food is everything. The food is wonderful. But a lot of times you smell that food outside when you're passing or driving by, and it makes you want to stop. And then you stop and you go in. And again, sometimes the food is great, but sometimes you can tell, get the menu like, okay, I don't think this is what I thought it would be. This isn't what I thought it would be. But sometimes you just got to try it. You never know. You never know. Sometimes you fool yourself. You'll think, you get in there and you think, this isn't going to be good. And then you order something that's great. Sometimes you go in there with high expectations and it's awful. Have y'all ever done that? You've been told about a restaurant, or you go to a restaurant. You've been told about a restaurant, or you go into a restaurant and it ends up being awful. You get your hopes up, you have high expectations, and they fool you. And then sometimes you go in there thinking, why did I stop here? And by the time you leave, you're glad you did. You're glad you did. So again, y'all, my phone went out again. I don't think it went out. I just think I couldn't see. And it wasn't the sun. And I don't like it when I can't see the screen. So that's the second time it's done it. But I don't know. I wouldn't think that would have anything to do with software, but I am one of those people who procrastinate about the software updates. I hate the software updates because I don't know, they're designed supposedly to make your phone function better. But a lot of times they do those software updates and they take away certain features. And that ticks me off. It takes away certain features and that's not good. That's not good. You get used to certain features and you want to keep those features. You get certain features. You get certain features and you want to keep those features. And then you do the software update and it messes the phone up. You don't want a software update. I don't like software updates much. From time to time there are good ones. From time to time there are good ones. But I'd rather and then right when you get used to the changes, then they're out with another update already. Like, they're out with another update already. So that's nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking. That's nerve-wracking. So yes, y'all, my last live, I was talking about Taco Tuesday. I was talking about how I really don't equate certain foods to certain days, but how they can be a good thing. It can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. If you want to have tacos every Tuesday, that's easy. That's an easy solution to a menu. If you want to have wings every Wednesday, and then if you're a sports person and you like wings to be a part of your foods on Saturday and Sunday or Thursday or whatever day, so you might be looking at having wings twice a week. Friday, you want to have catfish or fish on Fridays. So, you know, sometimes it works until you get burned out. Until you get burned out.
Like what's that?
I usually just cook whatever. Like I just said, catfish or fish Friday. Guess what? I did catfish yesterday. Okay, I had some mute. The music is just a part of being outside, so it is what it is. But I don't hear my birds, y'all. I haven't heard my birds today. Y'all know I like to hear the birds. But what I also like is for you guys to watch my legs move. Look at my legs move. And hopefully that will encourage you to get up and move your legs. Whether you're walking, which is the big craze, sprinting, jogging, running, jumping rope, swimming. You want to move the arms and the legs. When you're walking, move those arms too, right? You got to move those arms too. Not just those legs, we want to move those arms, okay? Move. What did I say? Walking, running, skipping, jogging, jumping rope, swimming, riding your bicycle in your neighborhood, riding your stationary bicycle, getting on your treadmill, your elliptical, your walking pad, your stepper, walking around the rooms of your home, walking outside around the perimeter of your home, walking around your block. You know, you don't have to walk far. Stay close to home in case it gets too hot, in case it gets too cold. But right now it's fall, and lately the weather has been wonderful. It gets a little hot still, like the 80s, upper 80s, mid to upper 80s. But it has also really been nice. The past 2 weeks has really been nice. It's really starting to feel like fall. It's really starting to feel like fall. So spring and fall are those two seasons where you're kind of getting the preview to summer. Spring, you're getting the preview to summer, and fall, you're getting the preview to winter. But, you know, fall isn't as stressful on you as spring is. Because when springtime comes, those are some hot days. You can get some hot days during the spring. During the fall, once it finally settles in, it's nice and cool. It's not too cold. and it's not too hot. You get sunny days with that cool breeze and that nice temperature of like the upper 50s, mid 60s, depending on where you are, you know, and it feels really, really nice. It feels really, really nice. So you get the sun, but you also get those heavy breeze, that breeze. You get that heavy breeze, or you get that slight chill, So again, watch the legs move. I hope they encourage you to move, and not just your legs. Okay, we're not talking about just bending those knees and those hip joints and those ankles. We're talking about we want to use the arms as well, the elbow, the shoulder. Okay, and before you do anything, what do you want to do? You want to warm up. Before you do your exercises, you want to warm up. Okay, you want to stretch. You want to stretch first and foremost as a part of your warm up. You know, and then you want to get into your exercise, and then of course, you want to what? You want to cool down, get that heart rate back down to normal, all right? Get that blood pressure back to normal, get all vitals back to normal while you cool down, and then you want to stretch again, okay? You want to start with stretching, and you want to end with stretching. You start and end the same way. You start and end the same way. You start with stretching, you end with stretching. All right. Think of the word radar. Think of the word radar. Starts with R, ends with R. R-A-D-A-R. R-A-D-A-R. The R is the stretching, right? The A is your warm-up, the rest of your warm-up. The D is your workout, right? The second A is your cool down. And the second R is what? We're going to stretch again. Okay? We're going to stretch again. That's what you want to do. That is what you want to do. I think of it as my meal. My warm-up is my appetizer, my workout is my entree, and my cool down is my dessert. And every day I come on here to encourage other people to move, to just move those legs, move those arms, and you can do whatever you want to do. You can skate, you can dance, you can walk. But walking or skating, whatever you do, if you do that only, that becomes repetitive, okay? That becomes repetitive. It's almost kind of like when you're doing resistance training. Your muscles stop reacting if you don't switch it up a bit. They stop reacting if you don't switch it up a bit. So the same way you want to switch up your resistance training or your toning of your muscles, you also want to switch up your cardiovascular activity. That's an easy concept, okay? And you know that if you are truly into fitness, that is something you'll know. But we drop nuggets over here, and oftentimes guys will come through and drop nuggets in the chat. We take those nuggets and we don't take them for their word, okay? We take them and we research them. And sometimes we don't have to research if it's something that we've already researched and we can completely agree with. But you want to take them and you want to research them. You have some people who just throw out information because it's something that they heard someone else say. Why do that? That's not good. If you haven't been formally educated, licensed, certified, and trained, you have to be careful about the things that you say. You have to be careful about the things that you say, about repeating someone and just throwing something out there. It may be 2 people in the chat. It may be 4 people like in this chat. It may be 40, it may be 20, it may be 100, it may be 400. You never know. Once the live ends, who will see your message? You don't want to disseminate information that you truly don't know yourself for sure, that you truly haven't researched yourself for sure. You've just heard somebody say it, and you say, hey, let me go strike up a live and see, can I get some people to come listen to me? And you're just saying something that you heard somebody else say. And the sad part is that has happened to me verbatim. And then you sit and you're like, wow. And you say something about it, and they're looking like, how dare you? And I'm like, no, how dare you? How dare you? It's like a parrot. It's like a parrot. But on a serious note, you want to be careful. And it doesn't matter whether, you know, what it is. When you're talking about this, this is for educational, right? Informational, entertainment purposes only. But whether it's entertainment, whether it's education, or just information, nobody wants to, I would hope, nobody wants to disseminate false information. False information. Or information that they haven't verified, that they've only heard someone else say. At least go Google it. At least go Google it. And I have started to realize that some people are doing just that. They run and they Google it, and then you hear what they say, and so they finally get the message and they switch up what they're saying a little bit, just a little bit. And then you go and look and you know straight where they went to Google. Let me tell you something, Google is a great asset. But when you're looking up information, make sure that you're checking verifiable sources, reliable sources. Okay? Check the .orgs, the .edus, the .govs. I know some people may feel a way about the .govs, but when it comes to certain things, those are the three that you definitely want to have behind your source. Okay? Now, that being said, there are quite a few .coms who will do just great. All right? They're still good. All right? But whatever you get from them, still make sure you get a second on it, right? Get a second word. Go check and make sure it's another verifiable source that's saying the same thing. Make sure that there's another verifiable source that's saying the same thing. Now, I don't know any doctor who doesn't want us to get up and move. They want us to work our bodies. Our bodies are like machines, right? You get your car checked, and what do? Even if you don't take it to the dealership, every so often, all of us should be checking what? Our oil, transmission fluid, wiper fluid, brake fluid, okay? Things like that we can at least check to see if they're low, right? So when we're moving, guess what we're doing? We're naturally increasing the synovial fluid that lubricates our joints, okay? I have been saying that for over 2 years. It's so funny. It's so funny. Anyway, I've been saying that for years. It's synovial fluid, cyst. Not cyst. It's synovial fluid. It lubricates your joints, all right? And the more you work those joints and move those joints, the more your body creates, right? Now, if you have osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, or any of those joint issues, moving is great for that. And it will, even though some of the cushion is gone, that, you know, that bounce and that spring, those pads that form around your joints, even though it's gone, the more you move, the more you create. You just have to be careful about the way you move, okay? But you just have to be careful about the way you move.
I love you.
Sometimes people have to go get injections and things like that. But if you haven't gotten to that stage yet, your body may not be producing as much as it was before you started having your joint issues, but it is still producing some. So get up and move, and make sure you're cautious about the way you move. Move cautiously. You want to have correct form, okay? You definitely want to have correct form when you're exercising. And anything that you guys see me do or hear me say over here, it's for informational, educational, entertainment purposes only. These are the things that work for me and the people I know and love, the people I've trained, the people I've taught, and the people who taught and trained me. Okay, the people who helped me to become professionally licensed and certified. Okay, so things change. That's another reason it's so funny when I see people who just jump up and say, I used to do this 30 years ago. I used to do this 40 years ago. I used to do this 10 years ago. I used to do this when I was a gymnast. I used to do this when I was in the Army. I used to do this when I was in the Air Force. Well, sometimes the things that we used to do way back when, even if way back when was just 2 years ago, some things change. And if you have certain conditions, especially, there are some things that you shouldn't be doing certain ways. Sometimes something that was thought to be the best way possible to make a move or do a move or to implement some type of activity, they learn over time that that's not so great anymore. They may have started seeing evidence of this 5 years ago, but don't have enough concrete evidence until now. So for the past 5 years, they may have been seeing evidence, but they don't have enough evidence until now to say, don't do it this way, all right? So guess what? People who have been medically, professionally, clinically trained, licensed, and certified, we have to get what's called continuing education to be recertified so that we know what we should and should not be putting out to the masses, and what we know, so that we know what we should and should not be doing, and when we're training, teaching, or educating. And that, for that reason, I don't put a lot of the education that I have into the chats. We just talk about the things that you guys can simply Google and find through reputable sources, okay? We talk about the things that you can simply Google and find through reputable sources. But even though you Googled that, find it, you still have to be careful the way you just put it out there. Because YouTube doesn't give us licenses. It doesn't give us certifications, all right? And it doesn't send us to any schools of medicine or kinesiology or medical school, nursing school, any type of therapy school. They don't do that. We do that on our own. And wherever you are licensed, whether it's your state or nationally, they're expecting you to put out the information the correct way. That's why we don't go into great detail over here, because I have learned most recently from the spring to now that people will take every word out of your mouth and put it on a channel and will disseminate it to the masses. Okay? You don't you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that, and you shouldn't be doing that. So we're very careful to only drop nuggets. Okay? Limited. We're limited in the amount of information that we have in the nuggets, but it's just enough to allow you to say, hey, let me go research this a little bit more, or let me talk with my doctor, a nurse practitioner, my physician's assistant, even your cousin who's a therapist or something, okay? And find out what I should be doing for my level of fitness. And finding out ways, can I even do this? And if I can, let me make sure that I'm doing it the correct way and I'm having the proper form to do what it is I'm supposed to be doing. Do it, stick with it. Sometimes, people only start out doing it 2 days a week, whatever activity they're doing, that's fine. Because guess what? If you haven't been doing anything and you start out doing something and now you're doing something 2 days a week, within a month or two's time, you will definitely notice the difference. You will definitely notice the difference. And again, don't hurt yourself. You want to work your body, but make sure you don't hurt your body. Your heart is a muscle. It needs to be worked just like all other muscles to keep it fit. But find out where you stand physically, okay? And go from there. And if you're completely healthy, don't overdo it either in that case. You want to work your body, but make sure you don't hurt your body. Make sure you don't hurt your body. You don't want to overdo things, and you don't want to underdo things. So always make sure you contact your primary health care provider before starting, restarting, or ending an exercise or workout plan, okay? Routine or regimen for starting, restarting, or ending, stopping. If you're gonna take a break, that's fine. Let them know you're taking a break. And if you don't let them know that you're taking a break, make sure that you're committed to restarting. Don't take a break and then slack off, okay? Make sure that you're committed to restarting.